So I
For some reason.
No, it's fine.
For some reason, it's not working.
What the heck? Huh? Okay, good.
Oh, we got my note about the garbage cans.
I didn't understand.
He took, he wants agreements. He said use the manual from his house, more things like tax exemption. We had questions about it. Probably wouldn't. No, no service. I knew Shiva, as quirky as they are, flew above board
To do that.
Yeah.
So we have to buy our own, that's it.
No, he said we should take the ones from his house that are not in.
Oh, okay.
I mean, no, the regular shots.
Sure, in the meantime, I'll be
more than one bin.
Right,
But if you start making, like, Superstar.
right, we'll need to get some more. Okay, let's do in the beginning of Hilchos Yom Kippur and Simon Tov Reish Dalet. This year, as a preparation for the Avodah Yom Kippur, we're learning this month Gemara and the Shulchan Aruch of Yom Kippur. And the Mitzvah Shem, whatever we don't finish this year, we'll continue next year, hopefully in Yerushalayim Yid HaKodesh, Bevias Mashiach Tzidkenu. Hilchos Yom Kippur starts with Simon Tov Reish Dalet. Pasuk says, "V'nisim es nafshesechem b'sisha l'chodesh." Chi b'sisha masana. Fragt the Chazal, do they fast on day 9? Balayim masana l'basida. We fast on day 10. There's two drashas the Gemara learns from here. Shneimar ba'asar l'chodesh ta'anas nafshesechem. Remember, made about that. So what's the pshat when the Pasuk says "V'nisim es nafshesechem b'sisha"? It l'chodesh is ba'asar l'chodesh. The Eibusha says, I want you to prepare yourself on day 9 for day 10. I want you to eat and drink on day 9 so you can have koyach to fast. The Eibusha shows his unbelievable love to eat. Why are they fasting? For their toivim, to forgive their sins. Still, Tziva sheyechlu b'yishlet chila shelayazik lamein. Why did the Torah meramis to us that we should eat on day 9 in order to have koyach for day 10 and use the lashon inui? Lama befeile sheyechlu b'yishlet b'tshi loy malach. Sheyechlu v'shoyis b'tashi ma'il l'vakos kilo hoy mesana boy. Achmas mitzvah k'shbarach b'tzivah l'sana boy. Shein schar oyechlu v'shoyis achmas mitzvah k'shbarach u'daim l'schar. When the Eibusha says to eat and to fast, it's a different thing. It's much easier to do a mitzvah of eating than to do a mitzvah of fasting. So the 4th day 10, which is the day of fasting, we get unbelievable reward. But for day 9, which is eating, how much schar does you need in order to eat gefilte fish and kreplach? Altijd live the gefilte fish and kreplach anyway. No. The Torah want to be mechadish that you get as for eating a filter fish and kreplach the same schar as you get for fasting on Yom Kippur. Shein schar oichel v'shoyse machmas mitzvah kadosh baruch hu dem al schar masana machmas mitzvah kadosh baruch hu v'zeh shoichel v'shoyse v'atashi schar harbe moed kilo masana machmas mitzvah kadosh baruch hu zivil lisanas. So given Yom Kippur, okay, that's one point. So he's saying that the Eibusha said, I want you to eat Erev Yom Kippur, and I'm going to give you a reward for eating the gefilte fish and to eat the challah and the honey and Erev Yom Kippur, the same reward as the fasting on Yom Kippur. Another thing, given Yom Kippur ma'atzmi, ef shalachavde b'maychel b'mishtik der shemachad m'shar Yom Tov, tzarech lachavde v'yom shalafanim. Another thing is, Yom Kippur is a Yom Tov. Yom Kippur is a special day. It's a Yom Tov, so we're supposed to make a suda, but we can't. So therefore, we do it before. We do it before Yom Tov and Erev Yom Tov. Fika chos l'sanas by Philot Hanas Cholam Mafat B'Shemut l'sanas Hanas Cholam Mafat B'Shabbat Yom Tov Cholam Mafat Yom Kippur Shechila Nachshavas Kin Commission Bar En l'sanas boy Ela Yerchel B'Yishte V'Yechosh Olek L'san Al Chalaim can't fast on Yom Kippur. If he has a tainas cholam, if he eats, it's as good as fasting anyway. So what's the point? Chomok Mishi to the Sanas Lachalam Ad to the Samam Second and Kubiod, Fish Erev Yom Kippurim, and the Demal Shabbos, Shanama, but cross Lasham Masari, Niglavik, Chos Lasanas by Filashachas, Lashem Tanis, and Tanis Holland. On a Shabbos, you're not allowed to fast even 1 moment, unless the Tanis Cholam, where the fasting is more pleasure than the eating. Better Yom Kippur, Shlanam is by Oinig. It doesn't say there's a mitzvah Oinig. So on Shabbos, even if you tell yourself I'm fasting, it's painful. So you're not allowed to fast on Shabbos even for 1 minute. Erev Yom Kippur, it doesn't say it has to be Oinig. For Shabbos, a person is not allowed to say I'm fasting on Shabbos, even for 1 hour. Erev Yom Kippur, a person could not eat, but at the end of the day, he must eat. Yom Kippurim Sana Sacha LaChavra Mashi Sana Verim Kippurim. Avalum Loy Sana Ela Atzuk Sana Sacha Ain't Sana Sacha. If a person fasted on Erev Yom Kippur, he has to do true for that. No, the Lisanas Voy Ain't Sana Tov Kofayin. Ava Bishamin Adin Erev Yom Kippurim Mutta Behes Kicheni Yom Klau. Then by my love, Shemitzalach Boy. Can you give me the shofar? What? Thank you so much. Oh, I'm sorry. When Simon Tov Reish Daled, we're in Siv Daled. Right over here, Hilchos Yom Kippur. Ava Bishamin Adin Erev Siv Daled. Ava Bishamin Adin Erev Yom Kippur. Mutta Behes Kicheni Yom Klau. Really, Erev Yom Kippur, theoretically, it should be, it's not a Yom Tov. The only thing the Eibishter wants that he should eat on Erev Yom Kippur to be strong. He must feed them by Ela. Commission is where some tough Simon. We treat it Erev Yom Kippur like a Yom. We treat it like a Yom. We also don't do the same amount of slichas. So there's 2 minhagim. 1 minute treats Erev Yom Kippur before Alois HaShachar as if it's not a Yom Tov, and they say slichas. Other places they say slichas, and the other place don't say slichas. Mishanoik Shaloi Lechel Basa Chabad, they don't say slichas Erev Yom Kippur. They treat it as a Yom Tov. Amol, there used to be people that had a minig that they didn't eat meat only by Yom Shenem Tach. Shabbos, Chodesh, Yom Tov, Yom Shenem Tach, Chanukah, Purim. Those are the days they ate meat. On a regular Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they ate no meat. So, according to that minig, the question is, what's with Erev Yom Kippur? Is Erev Yom Kippur a Yom Tov or not? We treat it like a Yom Tov. Mutalach labas afil balayla Erev Yom Kippur. The culture can be yem. But when we came and harvest lichel balayla, shein chosh from Yom Tov gam esalayla. Avu came and harvest lichel shein chosh from esalayla Yom Tov. Ein lech labas balayla. It depends on the minig. What the before Lois Shachar, are they saying tach or not saying tach? Are they saying slichas or not saying slichas? That's going to tell you if in that place the minig is to treat before Lois Shachar like a Yom Tov or not. I feel it became a shame, but the slichas lawyer also couldn't say Kichavim, shall lay it Erev Yom Kippur. Alpha B, she spell Larvis with Boyam, the fish and push from Yom Tov Alayla Mamish. Shrem and Tachrun, Achar, Philos Mincha Shell, Has Tishri. We show Yom Shenem Tachrun, and Em Tachran Philo Mincha Shlefneim. Michlal, Sherev Yom Kippurim, and Machzikin Yom Tov, Elam Tesek Kichavim Liela. So he's saying like this. On Erev Yom Kippur, we treat it like a Yom Tov. And we don't say tachrun, and therefore those 2 people that only eat meat, yom shenem tachrun, eat meat. The night, it depends. Some people have a minute to say slichas, some don't. It depends. If you're not saying slichas, because counted as a yom tov, then it's not time to slichas. So obviously you consider that night a yom tov, so you can have the meat. And the night before Yom Kippur. Night before Yom Kippur, that there are those people that used to get up early before Alois HaShachar and say slichas. And others said, no, Erev Yom Kippur is treated. No, By supper. The night before supper. The question is, those people, the minhag is they never eat meat. And me and you don't have that minhag. They only eat meat b'yom she'enem tach. The shaila is the supper the night before Yom Kippur. Is it considered a Yom Tif? Because next day zeinem tach. This depends. If your place they don't say slichas in the morning, it means that they count it as a Yom Tif. But either way, the mincha before we do say tach. So you can't say it's a Yom Tif until says like a chav and bevadai. Einem normal aseach, shena yom tzore, einem b'mizmar lasoida, metam shenis bo. Einem boy avinu malkena, lebetil shachris, lebe mincha. We treat it very much like a Yom Tov. Yesh makem esnagim shachol Yom Kippur b'Shabbos, shenem avinu malkenu. Azayim also be'erev Yom Kippurim shachris. There is a minhag that if Yom Kippur is on Shabbos, say in Shabbos we're not supposed to be zoyak mischanan b'Shabbos. So there is a minhag, which is Chabad minhag as well, that if Yom Kippur is on Shabbos, that you don't say Avinu Malkeinu, only say by Ne'ilah, except by Ne'ilah, right before Ne'ilah. I think that, everyone says it. But a lot of people have the minhag that if Yom Kippur is on Shabbos, not to say Avinu Malkeinu. Why? Because on Shabbos you're not supposed to have tachanunim on Shabbos. Right. Unless there's a city that's under siege or a boat that's about to sink. So then that's a special thing. It's a special, very, very special thing. But otherwise, Shabbos is treated in a special way. Okay, I just want to tell a story. The story from the Tzaddik, 1 second, for the Bunim of Peshisch. About 500 years ago in Germany lived the big Tzaddik. His name was Rebbe Eliezer Baal HaRokeach. He was called from the Hasidei Ashkenaz. And he wrote a sefer Rokeach. That's why he's known as the Rokeach. And he went to Eretz Yisrael, and on the boat, they were on the boat for a long time. And they were on the ocean, they were on the high seas, and it was Rosh Hashanah. It's Rosh Hashanah. He came to Eretz Yisrael. At that time, for a person to go to Israel, was an unbelievable Mesiras Nefesh. It's hard to imagine. There was nothing there. Like there's a joke today that says, how do you end up in Israel with a small fortune? So the joke says, if you come from America with a big fortune, you end up in Israel with a small fortune. I mean, there was no economy in Israel. It was an unbelievable Mesiras Nefesh. It was dangerous. It was a boat of Jews that went from Germany, and they were going to Israel. So it was the night, and it was almost Rosh Hashanah morning, and all of a sudden there was an unbelievable storm. And there is a couple of holes that got, the boat got punctured, and water started to flood into the boat. So they came and they told the Rokeach that it looks like the boat is going to sink. They're going to die. Everyone's going to die. And the Rokeach said they should call all the Jews quickly to him. They got up on the deck of the boat. They were looking, and it was looking, because it's still night. And as soon as he saw it was a lois shachar, took out the shofar and he made the brach. And he started to blow the shofar. As soon as he started to blow the shofar, the ocean became calm. And on the boat, they managed to pump out all the water from the boat, repair the boat, and they were able to go. They made it to Eretz Yisrael about 500 years ago. Whenever the Rokeach lived, maybe a little more. So Rebbe Peshisch used to love to tell the story. He said like this: people know the story. They think that the Rokeach knew that there was a special segula. When you blow shofar, that God sees the Jewish people and He looks favorably on them, and that's course the Jews were saved. That the storm calmed down. So that's not why they're careful the shofar. He said, we're dying. At least let's manage to do the last mitzvah. We could. The boat, they told them the boat is sinking. The boat is sinking, so we're going to die. We're not going to get a chance to do the mitzvah. What a shame. So he called all the Jews to say, it's Aloysa Shachar. Let's chaper our mitzvah before we sing. But the Rebbe showed Rachmanas God, the schus of the mitzvah, that their lives were saved. But that's not. Huh?
Here I can.
Middle of the night. It's not a mitzvah. The mitzvah shows.
If you sing, you're going to die. So any minute.
You could say you could dance up Kazatska, but you didn't. The mitzvah of shofar is only after Aloysa Shachar. If you blow before Aloysa Shachar, you blow an instrument.
Who knows if you're going to live?
Okay, but right, the story with Napoleon. You wanted to ask something?
Can you say
No, we don't say Tachar because we treat the day before Yom Kippur as an unbelievable Yom Tov. Treat it as a special day, as a Yom Tov.
But we don't
right, it's true. Yom Kippur we say Tachar, but because Yom Kippur is designated as a day of Slicha. There's a fine line.
What's the day before designated?
The day before is designated as a Yom Tov.
So we have
That's why we make the meal designated as a Yom Tov. Because we want to show that we're proud of this day. It's a very special day. And we can't celebrate on the day, so we celebrate the day before.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. 7 Dov Resh Hey. Minig Kaporis Berevim Kippur is the minig of Kaporis. Nirgim Be'elu Arotzos. There's a minig in these countries. Likich Berevim Kippurim. Tarnagel Kapor. Lazocher. The Tarnagel is in the cave. Bemel of Zechalivot. She said to Marotzos Akaferosi. So Shetov is Chatach. Ze Hashem Achois Achaim L'chol Chai. That's the meaning of doing kaporos. Chalifasi means that this chicken is exchanged of me. That moros is another expression of exchange for me. That kaporos, this will atone for my sins. Why do we say these three expressions? Because the pasuk says "Achois Chaim L'Cholchai," that Eibishter gives life, and the word "choisach" is 3 letters: Ches, Tav, Langechov, which is Zechalivot, Zechalivot, Zechalivot. Besamchen olav Yudayim dugmas Michal b'Karban. The minig was that they used to put their hands all on top of the chicken. Sheichem miyad, the take of the smicha shchib. Yesh nimnoyim elismachit olav Yudayim. There are those that their minig is not to do smicha. Why? Because otherwise it will look as if they're doing kodshim chutz to the Beis Hamikdash. You're not allowed to do that. That's a terrible sin. It's in this week's parsha. He says, "Vein lochish l'zeh." That's not a concern. Anyway, chicken is one thing that was never brought into the Beis Hamikdash. There were birds, there were cows, there were never chickens. Chickens were not.
Is that why we eat that Erev Kippur not meat?
Right, because chicken, no, that's because it's easier food to digest.
And no shaykhs?
Yeah. He's saying the reason why for kaporos we use chicken, because then no one's going to make, if you can use a goat, people are going to think, chas v'shalom, that they're trying to bring a carbon outside the Beis Hamikdash. But everyone understands chicken is not a carbon.
But you're not allowed to eat it.
Right. Hey, you just said that the shaila is the 2 minhagim. 1 minhag was to do smicha, 1 not. So those that said that smicha said no one's going to make a mistake that this is shchutei chutz. The other ones. They're not doing it as a kapora in the Beis Hamikdash. The question was, if Chas v'Sholem, someone might think, Maris or Ayin.
Let's say somebody decides he's going to take a chicken. He's going to take it up to the backyard and make nothing middle. Sacrifice it all. What's the violation of it?
I'm not sure. I hear your question, but I'm not sure. But it doesn't impact what we're saying here. Here there was two minhagim. One said to make smicha on the kapara, and one said didn't. And the question was the two minhagim. One said that it looks like shchut echutz. The other one said no one's going to make a mistake. That's it's not that chas v'sholem to say that they really did that. The minig is not to take these birds that are doy for the mizbeach, because people will make a mistake. People will think that it's shchut echutz. The minig is to take white chickens. If they're all available, so he takes the white ones because there's beremes. It looks like the dark amoidi. Again, it's really dark amoidi, but this is really to do with what we're learning in this week's parsha. All these things that are dark amoidi. Yesh noigam lift the kamas chorim betarnigalech, become a caves betarnigalasachs. There are those that say for a couple of boys, you have one tarnigal, which is male, a couple of girls, you have one tarnigal is female. So if a woman is pregnant, they take one male, one female chicken again.
I changed the bracha. It says,
Right. Right. Dima b'zacher, I can tarnigalech. Dima b'nekeva. Dai lo lima b'tarnigalasachs. Ish nagim. Likach kapora. L'chol echad diachad b'fnei atzm. V'lefikach loik shem lo moberes gimel. Shteine keves v'zacher echad. Their minig is to do two nekevis and one zacher for the mother. The Rebbe has a biur niflef. The second minig is the minig that brought from Darizal.
Pregnant or just
Pregnant, yep. We don't know what's in the
boy or girl. So you have to do for both of them. And for her.
Right. So here's the thing. The Rebbe has a beautiful biur on this. That really the mother, the baby did no sense. The baby is in the mother's womb. But the mother is kilu, she's two people. The mother is as if split personality. She herself is kilu, there's two people walking. It's as if Rachel and Leah are glued together, Siamese twins. Because on the one hand, the baby has a metzias on its own. The other hand is it's oichel mamash in meichelas, shoyse mamash in meishoyse. So if the mother, for example, ate something which b'shoygig and it was something not kosher, so the mother ate it, the baby ate it. Now the baby doesn't need any kapara, but the mother needs kapara. Usually, a person says, "I don't need a kapara for my right hand, for my left hand." It's one person. But by a uber, we say that it's like two people that are glued together. That's the difference. So the first and the second minhag. The first minhag says a girl is a girl, and the yois, the minhag was to do for a few girls. So one time the girls. So what's the big deal? The second is that every person needs a separate bird. Second minhag to say, every person needs a separate bird. So if you're going to say every person needs a separate bird, and this woman, if she has a baby in the stomach that's female, she needs a double kapara, because it's as if there's two women glued together. As if there's two women glued together. The Rebbe says from this minhag, we have a hezber It's an interesting thing how we see a fetus in the mother's womb. That we see it as a metzius, but glued to the mother. So it's as if, again, like two women are walking together, holding hands. The Rebbe says what this, we can explain an interesting minute. There is a minig Yisrael, Torah, which is called the Kvater and the Kvateren. The Kvater and the Kvateren. So the Kvater and the Kvateren is that there's a woman. The minig is that there should be a woman and a man that are married, a married man and woman, and the woman takes the baby from the mother and brings her to the Beis HaKnesses. Her husband takes the baby and brings the baby to Kisa Shalalayo. It's called Kvater or Kvateren. Now, I was in Israel many years ago, and there was a big sign for a movie, The Godfather, and it said the big word Hasandak.
It's an Hebrew for Sunday.
Not exactly, huh? To me, it was like, what? Hasandak? Kisa Shalalayo.
Rabbi, if the mother made sonogram and she knows she has a twin, she doesn't know if it's a boy or girl. So how many approaches?
So she'll have to bring much more. Now you have to do 5, yeah. So what's the minig? The minig is that if the woman is pregnant, not to use. Why? Same thing by a wedding. That the chosn and kala have shushvinim that take the chosn and kala. It should be a married couple. Who? Could be anyone, a married couple.
Usually the parents.
Usually the parents. Why? Because they're paying for the wedding. So say, look, we're paying for the wedding. But if the parents are not paying for the wedding, the couple pick So also there's a minig that the couple has to be married, and that the woman should not be pregnant. As always a minig.
I mean the quarter.
That both by the kvater and also by the chatuna, the shminim. So the question is why? Why is it so important? What's the point? And every minig has a tam. What's the tam for this minig? The Rebbe says that you could say it like this. What's the whole idea of shushvinim? It says that the Adam and Chava got married. The Eibishter was made shushvinim for them. Like Yidden got the Torah, the Eibishter made shushvinim. Was like Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron with the shushvinim, the Malka, shushvinim, the Malka Nisa. What happens when a boy and a girl they didn't? It's not like they dated like 300 times. Jewish couple, right? How many times they meet? Chatan and Kala, a few times, right? They met a few times. 10 times they met. Okay. They dated. They met a few times. Now they have to get married. It's a frightening thing. Marriage is very frightening. So a couple becomes friends, good friends, married couple. They say, listen, boychik, don't worry. It's good. Marriage is a good thing.
Look at us.
Exactly. And they help them out. They bring them to the wedding. That's the whole idea of the shushvin. They say, don't worry, buddy. Marriage is fine. We'll show you how to do it. It's the same thing when the baby goes to the bris. The baby, it's a big thing. It's considered like a chasana. So also here they have a minig to have a couple that are married, because the neshama v'guf, that's when the neshama comes into the body. The neshama v'guf is like a chatam v'kala. So also here they have a. But if a woman is pregnant, it's like two people walking. That's already not, the whole idea was it should be one man, one woman, and that they're going to bring the chos and the kala.
Usually the couple that have no kids.
Right. It's considered a mazel for, right. But they try to, according to this minhag, they try very much, it shouldn't be just a single man, a single woman. It should be married couple. And also that the woman is not pregnant. So the Rebbe says, you see over here that we treat a pregnant woman like a double person. Okay, continue. No, you're going to look in kaparas laniyim. The minig is the whole idea of the kaparas give it to poor people. But the best thing is that you take the chicken home, and this chicken you put in your own pot, and for the aniyim you give them money. Yesh mekayim shenogo leila chalakporis lahar b'shem b'tzedakah minig yofo v'tzedakah shnei shnei pigi in a kaparas. Eroi lotzat if the erech a kaparas yish to the beisoy. Give the tzedakah as much as the kaparas cost. V'layim mishum tchina dak masham v'sulam akadmonim. Shenem tachlim is but not to say tachlim that day. V'zork mabnei meyayim v'akovid v'akloyis shel kaparas al agagas and b'chotzam akum shreifis yichelam l'kachit misham. B'sheroi l'rachem labiz v'yem zek kedei she'erachem aleina min hashamayim. That we show that we have rachmanas also on the birds, on the nature. It's an unbelievable thing. The Gemara says a story about the Rebbe HaKodesh that he had suffered for so many years. And at the end, there was they had a servant in the house. The Rebbe was very rich. Had a servant, and she was sweeping up. There was these little weasels. She was going to kill them or get rid of them. So Rebbe said, leave them. They're little weasels. Don't bother them. And as soon as he says that, all his pain went away. And he was healed in a second, from head to toe. And because we see from this that when a person has rachmanas, you think, oh, sometimes you see people that they have rachmanas. It's a little, like in every block, there's the cat lady that takes care. But you know what? That they have rachmanas on other living creatures. So at Erev Yom Kippur, we want to show that we have rachmanas on every living creature. So even these extra little things like maybe I am in the kovet and the kloyas, we want to give it to the birds to show that we have rachman al kol ma'asav, we have rachmanas on every living thing. So they also need the connected midah that they should have rachmanas from us from heaven. Okay, look, if we have rachmanas on the stray cats and on the birds, then for sure we have to have rachmanas on another Jew. There's a magazine that come out, Pirchei. I remember a couple of years ago they had a story from Yitzchak Elchanan Spector. Summer he used to go on vacation for 2 weeks. No one could bother him. There's no cell phone or nothing. He sit and learn. He was very busy. Yitzchak Elchanan was Gadol Ador in his time. So once he found a place on an island. Was so happy. He got on a boat and he had like a little bungalow, and he stayed there, a bungalow for a few weeks. Summer he learned Yom V'Layla, and he had his faithful shamish. I forget the first name. It was something Motel Lifshitz, and he would come bring him his mail or bring him his food. He came over the boat. He brought him his thing. Thank you very much. Got back on the boat and so what happened? It's a very important thing. I remembered something very important. There's a cat. There's a stray cat. I give him once a week. I give him milk, and the cat knows. Sunday, whatever, in the afternoon, I give it. And then the cat. I realized I'm away. I'm out of town, and who's going to give milk to the cat? Do me a favor. He gave him a little bit of money. Buy milk. And give it to the cat. So a person trains to have rachmanas. Obviously, the rachmanas has to be in another human being. But a person that learns to have rachmanas,